Sorry, I had to scratch my nose. Hello, this is Brian with Transparency and Merit. This one's for the Gipper. Not for the Gipper. This one is titled Adam Hain and Selective Empathy. You will not see much of the mainstream media cover this because it makes the left look bad. The person who kicked the gentleman in the head, his name is Marvin Lee Love. Now, he does look like he could be mixed, but there is a possibility that he may not be mixed. But I've noticed that a lot of times it is your mixed, and usually it's mixed with black and something else. They oftentimes will become a tad more militant and virtue signal even harder at times. It looks that way. Now, I could be wrong on this, but that's the way that I see it. I gotta say, it seems like the establishment has no empathy for people of European descent. You can show what the media covers and what the media doesn't cover. Canon Hinton, now people have said, well, of course, that other people were like that officers weren't jailed with Breonna Taylor and the whatnot. But what about if you look at the Covington kids and Canon Hinton? What if you look at that one woman who called the cops on the child selling water in Canon Hinton? Can we do a full comparative analysis here? Of course we can't. The mainstream media won't allow that to happen. And this doesn't even seem to be true just in America, but also in Europe. I mean, for example, you look at the Muslim grooming gangs. How much media coverage has that received? I've heard that they have yet to release the report because they say it will not do any good. I don't know if we're being gaslighted or if it feels like people are gaslighting people. Like you think that cops are killing minorities or blacks at unprecedented rates. All you have to do is look at the statistics, and you'll see otherwise. I mean, you look at interracial murder, you'll see the statistics. But like I said, there are things I guess we as a society are not open to talk about, because right after George Floyd, right after his death and once his death became newsworthy, that's when Black Lives Matter, that had been discredited a few times, had been given unquestioned authority. Now, this gentleman that's been kicked in the head, Adam Hayner, Adam Hayner, yeah, he gets little to no empathy from the mainstream in this country and the mainstream around the world. There were worldwide protests for George Floyd. And if anyone's ever read the book by Colin Flaherty, White Girl Bleed a Lot, or Don't Make the Black Kids Angry, you'll see who murders who in this country. Does it matter whether it's by a police officer or not? Does it matter how long the protests in Portland have been going on? The police officers that arrested George Floyd have been arrested, yet protests are still going on. Now, some people believe that there's some kind of grand conspiracy. I don't believe that. To a degree, there is. But the conspiracy is they believe in their cause. They believe in their cause so much that they will lie, they will distort evidence. And this is the mainstream media, to get their outcome. The problem is these rioters, you can't control a riot, just as you can't control a war. So, their plans and ideals are actually, I think, working against the left to a large extent. Although social media, the mainstream media, not covering it that much, and then social media is censoring alternative voices out there. So you're not able to hear certain things. Now, we just saw this thing from Goodyear Tire, and it's still kind of speculation whether this is true. It looks kind of true. This is the kind of thing that the establishment and establishment businesses do hold. They had a thing that was allowed and what was not allowed as far as hats or displays. Black Lives Matter was okay. Blue Lives Matter, not okay, along with MAGA hats, or All Lives Matter. That was not okay. Yeah, you're not allowed to debate this issue as of now. It's becoming a little bit more that you're able to as the riots become worse. But cancel culture, and I'm being told that this is a hoax by by my colleague, and that's the one thing we have on Transparency and Merit. We want open debate, because you can't get to the truth unless you have open debate. And there are people who think that my ideas are completely insane and crazy. just as there are people who think my colleagues' ideas are insane and crazy. So my main thing is to have open and honest dialogue. But that doesn't seem that people want that to happen. And that is really the sad part of it. Joe and I talked about the George Floyd effect, and I just wanted to say that the George Floyd effect, affected people's ability to speak. I mean, every time something tragic happens, to a minority in this country, conservatives are negatively affected. Anything on the fringe conservative side is negatively affected. The other side, I mean, these riots have been going on for how long? And you'll see, the radical and the radical racial groups out there, if they're accepted by the left. Now, there is the left, and there are what the left deems acceptable. And their net for white supremacy has kind of widened. And everyone is, a lot of groups on the right are considered to be white supremacists, or secret white supremacists, or white nationalists. But Black nationalism is okay. Latino nationalism is okay. Asian nationalism in this country is okay. But anything that is kind of racially conscious on the white European side, not okay. Can't mention anything about that. Even things of white people being assaulted is really kind of frowned upon in this country. Now, Joe, I guess, believes it to be a hoax. I think it's a real thing that has happened. And I think that it's a rather bad thing. And if you look at the tape of that person that kicked him, that person believed that he had moral authority, that he was morally superior to the person he was kicking. And that is what a lot of these racial groups believe. They believe themselves to be morally superior. They're coming from a place of moral superiority. And this is leftist whites, along with even black so-called nationalists. But today, if you ever listen to any of the black nationalists, one of the things you'll see is they don't want whites to racially separate. I think they want to subjugate more than they want to separate. That's the gist I get from a lot of black nationalists today. They're kind of they're far more sadistic and have much more of a sadistic streak than a lot of the white nationalists. And black nationalists are certainly given a pass by the left, and the left basically today seems to control the establishment. It is what it is. I don't necessarily like it. I also wanted to mention that, by the way, in Portland, I've heard that bikers, the Brothers of Odin, have filed a permit for coming down Portland. I doubt they'll get it. I doubt something like that will happen. And I don't think that any good can come of that. Basically, mobs do not produce justice, whether they're mobs on the left or the right. I don't like knee-jerk reactions of any kind, whether it is on the left or the right. human beings should be able to sit down and talk to one another and hash things out, even if it means separating from that particular place or city. You don't like it here, you can always leave. But yeah, certain things are rather unfortunate. I'm going to get into like the law and other things a little bit later on how my belief is that social media companies are kind of breaking with the spirit of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. The 1964 Civil Rights Act, the codes and the law that says basically the public accommodations part of that act. I do believe that they are kind of breaking the spirit of it. The 1964 Civil Rights Act was written with the 14th Amendment in mind, equal protection under the law. And people that are conservatives and even whites are not basically protected, equally protected, because when you cut people's platform out, you are not protecting them if you allow one group to speak and not another. And even if they are a private platform, I do believe that we are subject to laws in this country. And I think that they are dishonoring that law. Could be wrong on that, but I'd like to examine that a little bit further. Anyway, this is Brian with Transparency and Merit. Leave a comment down below. If there's anything that I disagree with, I prefer, if there's anything that I missed or that you find that you disagreed with, please leave a comment below and I may do a show on it. Anyway, Brian with Transparency and Merit, thank you and have a good day. Oh, also hit the like and subscription thing if you haven't before. Thank you.